I want to talk about 3 crypto coins that are going to be better than Ethereum. Now, before we get into this video and I show you those 3 crypto coins, I don't mean necessarily a better project. We're here to talk about returns. So chances are, if you're like me, you do not care about the tech. All you're trying to do is multiply your money in the next bull run in the safest way possible. Because when I show you Ethereum's chart, guys, we already know what it's done. It's starting to rally right now, which is quite nice. But regardless, long gone are the days that we're ever going to see a sub $100, $200, heck, sub $1,000 Ethereum again. So we have to be honest with ourselves. Again, I'm holding Ethereum. I encourage you guys to buy some Ethereum if you have larger money. There's nothing wrong with that. And even Bitcoin. Get your feet wet. But when you start to do the maths, this is something that was kind of like a harsh reality to me and a couple of my other buddies that I'm speaking to about cryptocurrency in the real world. It's like, hey, do you really want to buy Ethereum? Because what could it potentially go to? We'll talk about that in a second. But when you actually do the maths, it doesn't, from a investment standpoint, I don't think makes sense, especially with the cryptocurrency. If you're here to just make a couple of juicy X's, sure. But if you're here to make a lot of money with not that much, you're going to need more coins than Ethereum. You just are. But I want to be clear, okay? Ethereum is still the daddy. We're here to milk gains for the next run though, right? So I think there's 2 reasons why to bet against Ethereum and some of your altcoins. Number 1, if your coins don't beat Ethereum, right? So if your coins, let's say Ethereum goes to that 10k, 5x or so, that's nice, that's cute. And if your altcoin, your beloved altcoin, does a 3x or a 2x, you might as well just have chose to invest in Ethereum because, you know, you made more gains, that's on Ethereum, but for the risk, it just wasn't worth it. So that's what you have to be aware of, because there are coins out there in the next bull run that just won't move. And some of them, unfortunately, will not be around because our alts will have more risk, right? That's the risk ratio of our smaller cap alts. So number 2, understand that in my opinion, I think Ethereum has a 3 to 6x max. The maximum it's going to go to is 12k. You might get a blow off top to 15, but I don't see that happening. And I think the minimum, the absolute bear case minimum, will be about 6k, right? Ethereum will break its all-time high. It will. So will Bitcoin. But that's the min to max. And when you can understand that, it's like, okay, the smaller caps, we don't need massive amounts of money if this happens, especially if Ethereum goes to 12k. It's going to be a fun time, boys. It's going to be a fun time. And I do believe Ethereum will break the 10k mark. With Ethereum's market cap, a lot of money needs to be injected, though, to get anything beyond that 6x. A serious amount of money needs to be injected. For their smaller caps, not so much. Because when we choose any altcoin, we need to think about gains. This is like investing in Ethereum in the early days, or even back in COVID. You could get Ethereum, I think it was $80, the code crash. Long gone are those days, brother. But that's what we're trying to do with our altcoins. We're getting in there early so we can do this. We need to do the maths on our investment, plus how much can we get in by the next bull run, 2024. Mark it in your calendars, March, April, May, whenever the next halving is. Who cares? 6 months after that, we'll run. You have to ask yourself, and I'll always say that, is this enough for you? And if your goal is just a 3x, just buy Ethereum. Do not touch anything else. But if your goal is more, and you need 10, 20 X's, you're going to need to look elsewhere. And if you want the 50 X's, you definitely need to look elsewhere. So, number 1 is QNT. If you want an easy 10x without barely any risk compared to Ethereum, there's of course more risk. Of course there is. But I think this is the easiest 10x in the bull run. I genuinely think so. Number 1, technology. Number 2, the team. Number 3, the business. It actually creates revenue. Found this. A CBDC will enable citizens and businesses to automate cumbersome payments and processors. This is coming. And Quant are right behind this. CBDCs are running on blockchains and benefiting from secure smart contracts, and are a form of programmable money combined by the usher and range of improvements in terms of efficiency, security, and transparency that will benefit banks and their customers. By the founders' words themselves. And this is what they're trying to do. And when this happens, let alone everything else QNT are working on, it's game over. I thought this was funny. This is an old photo. QNT, $100. When this next bull run happens, I'm not saying QNT is going to 10k. I think, it doesn't need to go to 10k. It's a 1k coin all day. That's a 10x because it's right around $100. That's a fact. That's the fact of reality. This is what's going to happen. You could have plugged this meme in with Ethereum back in the days when Ethereum was $100, $80 in COVID. Now it's gone. Ethereum's gone. And it's not going to be long before QNT gets there as well. So QNT is going to be number one. Get involved. It is still easy. The gains are not 50x's though, brother. I don't think the gains are 50x's. Just keep that in mind, but you don't need 50x's. And if you do, we'll talk about some other ones. Number two is Oasis Network. Oasis Network, however you pronounce it. My buddy in my private community, Lucas, told me to look into this. And I did. And I found some good stuff. Some very good stuff. So we're going to talk about that. Now, it rose that the protocol outshines Ethereum in so many levels. Let's enumerate. The average block time is 6 seconds. ETH is 12 to 14. The finality of confirmation is instant. Ethereum is about 90 seconds. Integrated confidentiality support at layer 1. Confidentially. Smart privacy means permissionless. High scalability with up to 1,000 TPS. ETH's 20 to 30. Unmatched by Ethereum. Ability to separate simple and complex transactions. Now, ETH is the OG, but Rose has definitely better capabilities and prospects of taking Web3 ecosystem forward. And if that wasn't enough for you, again, we're here to make money. I don't give an F about this, but definitely the big investors do, and that's where money will be flowing. Rose has the narrative of AI, which is great for a number of reasons. We all know, in my opinion, AI is going to be the next narrative, along with still metaverse, along with NFTs, along with gaming, but AI is going to be the front for it. We've seen it with ChatGPT. Here's the kicker, brothers. They're working with Meta. We know they're the founders of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. So Rose, where are we looking? So the previous run on this, there was gains. There was a lot of gains in Rose. Did you miss it? I definitely missed it. We're right back at square one. Again, we're a nice, more than 10x off the previous run, let alone where this is going to go. Come on, check the website. It's got some great stuff going on. The real beneficial is obviously the AI narrative, but the privacy compared to Ethereum. You can read about why Oasis, etc. You can see the backers. They're pretty big. Binance being one of them, although I don't F with Binance. We can't argue with what they're doing. And it's a big one, boys. It's a big one. They've got a lot of website visitors. They've got a lot of teams. They've got a lot of technology. They've got all that good stuff. And it's just a clean project, in my opinion. It's going to give you more, if it goes well, than Ethereum, 100%. QNT, I still think it'll give you more. But there's more risk here, brothers. There's way more risk here. But keep that in mind. That's what you guys are here for. A small allocation. Just like Lucas in our private community. He's got a small allocation. And it's not going to hurt you. If it goes well, it's really not going to hurt you. Now the last one. This is a new one to me. Something I'm looking into is Injective, ING. You probably haven't heard of it, and we're going to break it down because it is quite complex, but there's a lot of good things. So ING's mission is to create a truly free and inclusive financial system through decentralization. It's a great mission. With the fastest blockchain built for finance and plug and play Web3. Injective's ecosystem is reshaping a broken financial system with dApps that are highly interactable, scalable, and truly decentralized. Despite the market downtrend, when I show you this chart, by the way, guys, you're going to be, where was I? It's insane, and it's a top 100 coin, I believe now. So it's insane. This one has just been under people's radars, just like QNT ran a 5x in the bear market. You'll see this one. Now it continues to make significant progress, which is great because they're obviously continuing upgrading, which is what we want for the development of the ecosystem. Because when you look at projects and they just abandon and they go to the next project with a different name, that's not what you want, because it's like, hey, where's the investors? Thanks for helping me out, brother. You lost me all this cash. So if these guys are continuing to develop before the bull run, it's game over. Because a lot of projects in the bull run, bro, will just fly because of memes, etc. But stuff that has strong use cases with a bull market narrative will fly. I promise you. The company has been focusing on building and decentralized exchange that is not only fast but also reliable, secure and scalable. This has been made possible through the unique layer 2 scaling solution that allows Injectable to process trades at lightning fast speeds without compromising on security. You can see all the upgrades here. I grabbed a little quick screenshot, but before that, what I think is more important is the price. The price. Bear market happens and you are 10x or so. Pretty juicy. All the time. Bull run was fantastic. Starting to run before the bull run. Effing crazy. Where was this one? Top 100 coin. I didn't see it. Did you? Would wait for some retracements if you're looking at DCA. But yeah, the website's fantastic. Backed by Binance. you can see on-chain transactions is every millisecond is moving. It's pretty much free to use. It's pretty much infinitely scalable. Mark Cuban there. Nice to see it. Love to see it. And it's a great project. Ecosystem's massive, and I mean massive. And that's why it's running, bro. That's why it's running in this bear market. It's going to be an interesting one. I would pick some up if you want a more risky play, but with something that has great use cases. So the way I broke this down is by a risk case scenario. So I'll break it down again before I sign out. Ethereum, 3 to 6x. If you want that, and that ticks your goals for that lifestyle, just buy that. 10x, QNT. Now again, some of these projects will run more than that, and some of them will run less than that. But averagely, I think you're going to get a 10x with QNT with ease. Rose could go crazy. Could go crazy. Will be more than a 10x if it goes well. Don't think it's a 50 to 100x. This one, higher than 50x if it goes well. You're already starting to see that in a bear market. But more risk. More risk, more reward, more raries. Safe. You know what to do. Let me know your comments below. There's obviously way more than 3 projects. There's way more than 3 projects. But these are things, 2 new ones I thought I'd bring your attention to. And I'll see you next video.